Welcome back, my gorgeous, good-looking friends. We are continuing on this miserable journey in reviewing episode 5. So we're picking right back up into the next segment of the episode where we get into the embellished story about the online hate that Meghan was receiving from social media. So they cut back to the New York trip in November of 2021, where Harry is participating in the Wire Zoom call, in which he talks about misinformation and disinformation and the humanitarian crisis that it has posed. And then they show Meghan, who is sitting there behind the scenes listening to the script that she wrote for Harry. Let's not forget that this sociopath was exposed that very same day for lying in a court of law. Exposed that her and Harry were definitely contributors to the book Finding Freedom. I wonder why Finding Freedom didn't make the cut in this Netflix series. Poor Omid Scobie has been markled. So immediately after this, they go into Christopher Boozy's segment. I'm not going to get into the weeds about this guy. I'm just going to say that yes, what has been presented has not been accurate. And Nate, the lawyer, who is suing Christopher Boozy, does an excellent job at breaking down the many fallacies and lack of credentials that Bot Sentinel and its CEO possess. So I'll put the link below for you to go check it out. It's definitely worth the watch. He does an excellent job. So next to be introduced is another person who is on the Sussex payroll, as well as another race baiter. And she is the one, if you don't remember, in the Archetypes podcast. I forget which horrible episode it was, but Meghan just so happened to get a book from her friend of the algorithms of oppression. Remember, this was the woman who had accused the Google search engine for being racist? Right. And she's also the one that was recipient of the first Digital Justice Award from Archwell and the NAACP and that whole paid award system that they've got going on. So she's speaking about this targeted hate. Now, when you look back at her involvement with the Sussexes, she was the one that wrote this article. The fight for Meghan Markle's life, the Duchess's battle with tabloids and trolls, is about more than just her right to privacy. Now, this, at the time when it came out, was an impactful article. Nobody knew at the time that it was a coordinated campaign orchestrated by Meghan Markle, in which she had Christopher Boozy not only bullying our dear friends, but paying her sugars in order to amplify this for it to get bubbled up and recognized in the mainstream media. And that's exactly what happened. But then after we started to put two and two together, and you see that they're working with one another to execute this smear campaign in order to silence and censor people telling the truth. The monarchy, aka institution, is very much aware of who these people are that have orchestrated these campaigns. It's only a matter of time before all of this is exposed. There are 3 court cases in process, as well as the royal family on the back end who have been collecting information as well. So in due time.
Okay. That's like what's actually out in the world because of people creating hate.
Look, I don't wish any harm to Meghan or Harry. However, they have to understand that they are public figures. And with that comes an understanding that there will be people that just don't like you.
You know, and that's the piece when you see it and you go, you are making me scared. It sells your papers, or it makes you feel better about your own life. It's real what you're doing.
Unfortunately, I do not have empathy or sympathy for this because she is guilty of doing the exact same thing to her own sister who is in a wheelchair. I can't feel sorry for someone who pays people to orchestrate a smear campaign against other individuals who are exposing her lies and telling the truth. In addition, let's not forget that Meghan has been purposely gaslighting the public. Now, what we have to remember is that we're all human. And whether she likes to hear it or not, people are going to feel hatred because humans feel emotions. If after this woman keeps gaslighting and doing things on purpose to fuel people getting angry, of course, you're going to have people that hate her. And it's not because she's black. The danger that Meghan and Harry pose to other people, she's not taking into consideration because why would she? It's not about her. And this is why I can't feel sorry for her, because she is part of the problem. I'm sorry, but when you're putting other people's lives in danger for your own selfish needs and purposes, then you deserve what comes for you. The only advice that I can give is being that she has all this money and is paying a 24/7 security team, dedicate someone to childproof your social media and filter out anything bad that they see about her and then let her read it like any parent would do for a child. Otherwise, understand that this is part of being a public figure. And it's not just Meghan has this problem. It's every celebrity, but you don't hear them crying that they're worried something's going to happen to them, especially when you're actually part of the problem doing the exact same thing to hurt other people. In my opinion, I think more focus should be put on Meghan jeopardizing other people's safety, especially the ones that don't have the same kind of security protection that she has.
And that's the piece I don't think people fully understand.
Even more telling, Harry's not even buying what she's saying. You would think, as a husband, you would equally be engaged with your wife, rubbing her back and holding her hand. Nothing. He's just watching her. So they flip back to New York, showing Meghan and Harry doing guided meditation to wash away any of the negativity from social media. Please give me a break.
When you try to prove that you're good and that you're not the person they say you are.
In my opinion, they spun the narrative on the reason why they were doing this guided meditation. So you can see Meghan's crying. I think it had everything to do with the court case exposing her as the world's biggest liar. Both of them, actually. If you notice, Harry's not so empathetic or supportive in the sense of putting his arm around her or holding her hand. Nothing.
He wouldn't have ever been attracted to or interested in me if he hadn't already been on his own path.
I have to agree with Meghan on this one. Seriously, if Harry wasn't ready, or his taxi light cab was off, or it was seen as off duty, then none of this would have happened. So Harry was ready to make a change in his life, to settle down, and was ready to progress to the next chapter. I think if there was somebody else that came along and Meghan didn't have the opportunity to meet him when she did, I think things could have been different. And I think Meghan could have been watching Harry to see when would be the opportune time to get herself in there. So now they get into the farewell and their last engagements, and they show Meghan getting tailored with that green horrible dress that looked like actual fabric from the fabric store that they just wrapped around her. Seriously, it looked like some polyester creation. I'd like to think that the tailors had an inside joke on this one because that dress was poorly fitted, and to see that it was custom tailored is even worse. So next, they're on their way, leaving to go home, and Meghan tells this fabricated story on the plane about how one of the stewards had knelt down and said, "Thank you for your service," sort of to mimic the Paddington Bear scene that the Queen had. Failed miserably. Nobody believes that. Then she talks about getting to Canada and then falling into the arms of the security guy. Sure she did.
I just collapsed in his arms crying. I was like, I tried so hard. He goes, I know you did. I know you did, ma'am. I know you did.
But I fucking hate liars.
Like, I tried so hard. And that's the piece that's so triggering because you go, and it still wasn't good enough. And you still don't fit in.
Draw your own box, Meg, as you know how to do. So admittedly, I did cruise through the second half of this because a lot of it you guys have already seen before, and it's just pure crap, more lies upon lies. However, this very last piece is something that I want to emphasize again because I've been saying this as I've been doing these reviews. The constant theme here is focused on the Commonwealth and dismantling it from the monarchy. So after all the sugary crap about these two, they bring back the two race-baiting historians to talk about a missed opportunity that the monarchy had with having Meghan Markle joining the family.
Is at the center of the argument for the monarchy in this country is the Commonwealth. Here was a woman who just looked like most of the people in the Commonwealth.
And right after that, they then showed the disasters that happened last year with the royals and the Caribbean, in which Meghan's paid Sussex squad were responsible for a lot of the hatred that was being swirled around on social media and then bubbled up to mainstream media on the left, which is what they used to then push out their propaganda that the royal family was racist. All the while, Meghan and Harry stayed silent. I thought that this part of the series was damaging.
Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and the entire royal family. That reparation time come now.
Barbados made the decision to replace the Queen as the head of state. That makes it more likely that other nations will follow.
So now after they set the stage here, Harry comes in, and I want you to listen to what he says very closely, because this goes along the line of what I've been saying throughout this entire series on what this couple is trying or thinking about doing.
Anyone inside that system, whether it's my family, whether it's staff, whether it's PR, whoever it is, have already missed an enormous opportunity.
Now, he's not talking about helping the people. He's talking about the money.
With my wife and how far that would go globally.
The royal family missed an enormous opportunity with his wife that would extend globally. What do you think he is talking about? As we all know, Meghan's not doing anything unless she's paid. So what opportunity would have been there? It would have been for Meghan and Harry to take over the Commonwealth and rule as if that was their realm to rule as king and queen. From day one, when they launched the Sussex Royal website, before even getting approval from the Queen about their half-in, half-out ordeal, they put this on their website. That was one of the major focuses that they wanted, was strengthening the Commonwealth. And I could totally see Meghan and Harry saying, well, we have the half-in, half-out. We can work for the Queen, but then we could also do our business deals as we're traveling along the Commonwealth. You see what I'm saying? This is why the Queen didn't want it, because there was going to be too much of a gray area as to when they would be representing the Queen and when they wouldn't be representing the Queen, because they had every intention to monetize off of the royal brand. And Harry gives himself away in this series because he mentions the tremendous amount of opportunity that exists there. As if the royal family doesn't have global reach in this space already. What do you think he's talking about? He's talking about the money. We'd be stupid to think that Harry sees his wife looking just like those black and brown people in all those Commonwealth countries. Yeah, I don't think so. Listen to what Tom Bauer says. I think he also sees what I see.
That the Netflix documentary and then obviously the book is going to cause even more damage. And it needs leadership. It needs leadership from King Charles, because at some stage, he is going to have to draw a line and say the Sussexes have really gone too far in their bid for fame and fortune at the expense of the royal family. And I've repeatedly warned about this for months now. It's quite clear what they're doing. It's very skillful and damaging, colossally damaging. And what an amazing trailer that one Netflix is. It's just full of threats and poison and innuendo and direct attacks on the royal family.
Watch this space. I don't think we're done yet. These two have a lot more up their sleeve that we should be worried about. In any event, that's all I've got for this episode. I will be back soon with another review video, but until then, turn on your notification bell buttons. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!
I was such a fraud.